This is Prisma Lopez-Marin here on 18 WJTS. We are here in Huntingburg with Mayor Denny Spinner. Hello, Mayor.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor. Thank you for having us. Can you please tell us about your site visit and what entailed regarding the 4th Street Committee, I believe?
Okay, yes, 4th Street, the 4th Street Heritage Trail Committee, we are down to a technical committee that's making a lot of the decisions on what the look and feel of 4th Street will be like as part of our Stellar Communities project. We had a previous field trip that we went to Indianapolis to look at Georgia Street, which is a single level, kind of a plaza-like effect, but much more modern than what you might see in Huntingburg. So the committee wanted to see some other places that are closer to us that are doing similar projects. And on the 16th of November, we had an opportunity to make 2 stops very close by. And the first stop was made in Evansville. Mm-hmm. And there we visited on North Main Street. If you're familiar with Evansville at all, North Main Street, north of the Lloyd Expressway, was a very vital thoroughfare for the community for many years. But changes in traffic patterns had changed the atmosphere there. So the city of Evansville has made an investment to do almost a full mile of improvements, and including changing it into a much more bike and pedestrian-friendly type corridor. That project is currently underway. So with our engineering firm, VS Engineering and Taylor Siefker Design Group, we took our team and met on that street as it's being built right now. I mean, it's in the matter of in the process of being built. And Mayor Lloyd Winnicky and his staff made his staff available. We talked to their engineer, to their planning director, to the chief of staff about all the issues that are taking place as they make that transformation. We got to see the materials that they're using, the type of designs that they're using to make that project happen. And probably from that standpoint, what we learned as much from that visit in that particular site was about the transition of how it affects the merchants along that corridor. Sure. We had a lot of those things in mind, but hearing that firsthand from the group that is doing it right now, I think is preparing us for some of the decisions and some of the communications that's going to have to take place when the 4th Street project starts here, which is anticipated to be about a year from now, is what we're looking for being under construction for the Heritage Trail on 4th Street. Subsequent to that visit, we went downtown, and as many of our residents know, downtown Evansville has had a walkway and a pedestrian way for decades now. And we really wanted to take a look at that and see the types of material that have been used there that have held up well, that have taken the test of time, had traffic on them, that still look and feel the way they want them to feel. Take a look at the pedestrian traffic flow, how the pedestrian and the vehicle traffic interact with each other. So again, with the City of Evansville folks, we walked the length of the street from the Ford Center all the way to the riverfront, and really got a good idea of what, from them, the things that have worked well, things that they would do differently, and really gave the committee a lot of, of a more established area. What are the issues as this project ages? What are the things that we're going to have to look forward to and anticipate in the way of construction? From there, we traveled a little bit further east and went to Owensboro. And we went to the downtown plaza in Owensboro, the Riverfront Plaza. Again, the mayor there had his staff available to us. Their parks director and their public works director were there. And we looked at the park front, the Riverfront Park, learned a lot of things about how they maintain it, the types of textures and surfaces that they're using. Relates a little bit to the Market Street project, but also the boulevard that's there in front of the park uses a lot of the same concepts, the curbless feel, the bollards that are there to protect the pedestrians, the trees that provide the separation. So we had a good opportunity to speak with the Parks Director and the Board of Works Director about, again, how they maintain it, what are the pluses and minuses of what they've done. And in each of these cases, the staff and the mayor's offices were very, very cooperative and really gave us a lot of insight as we're making those decisions now about what type of textures we're going to have on 4th Street. I think this was a very, very valuable visit. we intend to share what we learn with others as they proceed as well. But I really want to thank both the mayors of Owensboro and Evansville for making these people available to us. Our committee got a lot out of it, and as those discussions continue, in fact, we have another meeting this week to talk about the project and keep that project moving forward. Mm-hmm. And in the next, our goal is by the end of the year to have the project at 30% design, which is a point we go back to the state of Indiana Department of Transportation and discuss these different options so that we can make the right choices. So it was a very, very positive visit. I think everyone who was able to go gained something out of it, and I think it'll make our project move a lot smoother and give us some good ideas as we make those choices.
So what time frame did you do this in one day?
Yes, we did it all in one day. We left here in the morning. We drove down to Evansville. We're on the street on North Main during the morning. We had lunch with the staff. Mm-hmm. They did a presentation about not only the physical things that have gone on, but the economic development impact that a project like this has, which was very important to see. What kind of investment is expected once these improvements are made. And it was very, very positive numbers that we heard. So it was, sharing with us that experience of not only the physical things that are going on, but the atmosphere around that is being created by these projects. And that's part of what we're studying. So we spent lunch there in Evansville, spent an hour or so going down the walkway, about a 40-minute drive over to Owensboro, and spent about an hour and a half, 2 hours there before returning home. So it was a full day, yeah. But it was a very, very time well spent.
Good. And in terms of realistic planning, because I know it depends on each city and what is meant for each city. Right. How similar is it to the Evansville and to the Owensboro? What is going?
There are similarities in the types of things we're doing, and that's one thing that I think our folks in town are questioning. How would you know this is going to hold up? I think that's what we're trying to see, is that there are the types of textures and the type of work that we're doing is not new, in the sense that it hasn't been done anywhere else before. Yeah. So there are the scope of the project in Owensboro, of course, or the scope of the project in Evansville, where you're talking, a mile of road being done as opposed to 2 blocks. So the scope is not, the same. But as it goes to scale for Huntingburg, it's about as much impact as it would be for a mile in Evansville. So I think there's a lot of things that we can draw parallels to what's being done in those cities. And the good thing about those also is we have the same weather, so we kind of know, how is the maintenance of materials like this done? How do they treat it? How do they work with it? So I mean, we're in a very similar project in the way of how to work with it on a day-to-day basis. So those were a lot of things that you could draw kind of a parallel track between Huntingburg and Evansville and Owensboro.
I think all of this is very important, just to be on site for an area who already is doing this.
Right, and that was one of the big advantages, was that the site on North Main is actually under construction. We were in a construction zone. I think there might have been some pictures on Facebook of us in the vests and the hard hats that were out there, and really we're on the scene. So it was very much a hands-on experience, and it was very, very helpful.
One of the things that I was wondering, did you get to speak with the merchants there?
We did speak with a couple of merchants, and we did speak with more with the City of Evansville folks who talked about how they communicated with their merchants on how those things happen. So the interaction, there were a couple of merchants that actually came out on the street while we were there, because I think they were planning the Christmas parade in that area for the next, and they saw a lot of activity. But the City of Evansville folks did a good job of giving us, how those conversations have gone and the importance of maintaining that contact during the project.
Well, we definitely look forward to those projects happening here in Huntingburg.
That's right.
And going forward in terms of our Christmas celebrations that have been going on previously.
All right.
And in the future that will happen. One of them that currently happened was the stroll here.
The Christmas stroll, of course, happened the first week in November. We had absolutely ideal weather for the stroll. It was a perfect Friday and Saturday and Sunday for that event, and I want to congratulate our merchants and our chamber and the Merchants Association and everyone who took part in that project, because it really showed Huntingburg very well. I mean, we heard a lot of very, very positive comments about how our community looks and the importance of being an inviting place. And the project that we just discussed is part of that process, you know, and continuing that welcoming feel and making Huntingburg a true destination. My wife and I were out on the street almost all day on Saturday. I did a lot of carrying bags back to the car for the shopping, but that was all part of the experience. But it was a great weekend, and again, thanks to our Merchants Association for everything they did to prepare for that and really put Huntingburg's best foot forward. And I think anybody who visited came away with a positive feel about that. So our Christmas celebration continues as we get closer to that, and coming up on this Saturday, on the 3rd, will be the Candlelight Christmas Parade. Kind of a tradition here in town. It's a very short parade, but it's a very important parade at the same time. It'll start here at City Hall and proceed down 4th Street to Salem United Church of Christ. The band will be here to lead the way, and of course Santa will be here as part of it. And it's just an opportunity that as the parade goes down the street, others will join in as a candlelit parade. It's just a very nice way to kind of bring us closer to the season. They'll be invited to come to Salem Church at the end of the parade for snacks and treats, but also the Starry Night in Bethlehem. It's a reenactment of the Bethlehem Marketplace, so get a little bit different feel than just the more traditional holiday, a little bit more of a Christmas feel from the time of Bethlehem when Christ's birth took place. So it's a great way for the community to come together and kind of have a good experience. They'll be singing and carols and music and all kinds of things going on. So we just invite the public to come out on Saturday nights at 6 o'clock. Okay. And so it'll be a nice candlelit parade, a very brief event, but also a very important one for the community, something that's happened for several years here.
And a lot of people definitely expect something like this to happen every year.
Yeah, well, I think fortunately, I don't think we'll have too cold of weather, but it'll still feel like a December event when we go on Saturday.
It has been feeling like that. Actually.
That's right. That's right.
One of the things that I did want to tell our viewers as we continue for the rest of the year and on to the next one is that I am leaving the station and therefore leaving Monday with the Mayor, but we will have our new reporters taking place and taking conversations with our mayors, which are very important to inform you, the community, about the things that we have here.
Well, I wanted to say to Prisma, as she's probably our last time to do this together, that I appreciate the work that you've done in bringing the stories that are important to our community to light here during Monday with the Mayor. We appreciate all the work you've done and promoting that with us, and we've enjoyed your time here, and I wish you very well in your future endeavors, and hopefully someday maybe we'll come back and you'll be a guest on Monday with the Mayor for us. We'll put you on I'll interview you. How's that?
Sure, that would be absolutely wonderful. And I encourage everyone to, as Saturday, Business Saturday, Small Business Saturday did happen this Saturday, we do encourage everyone to come to Huntingburg and support our local vendors.
That's right.
And so thank you, Mayor, for always having us and for having us here on Monday with the Mayor, but also giving us the information that we love to inform our community members, which is so essential, both Huntingburg residents, Jasper residents, Vernon residents, DuBois County in general. It's important for everyone.
Well, we appreciate the opportunity to be on the air and share this time, and appreciate the time that the station gives us for these opportunities and your work as well, and look forward to continuing for years to come.
Thank you, Mayor. And thank you for joining us here on Monday with the Mayor.